Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. Today's video is Week 3 trade targets. Guys, you're going to be looking at trying to acquire because I believe that they're going to have better weeks ahead of them. Before I start the video, I'd like to ask you, could please go down below and click that subscribe button because not only is it going to help me, it's also going to help you guys because I'm hoping you guys dominate your fantasy football season. Now, I know if you guys have already been subscribed, you probably just skipped right through this because you guys are already dominating your league, already doing good. I release up probably like 12 videos every single week. There's going to be 2 live streams. Make sure you subscribe because you don't want to miss out. So let's get into these Week 3 trade targets. Also, follow me on Twitter. It's down below at NotoriousFNTSY. So the first guy we're going to be talking about here is David Montgomery, running back of the Chicago Bears. Now, I know he was in the last video for trades, guys to trade for, but I know not everyone did that, obviously, and I still believe that you can trade for him now. Now, week 1, he had 6 attempts for 18 yards, 1 reception, 27 yards for 5.5 fantasy points. Was not looking too hot. Then, week 2, 18 attempts, 62 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 reception, 6 yards, 13.8 PPR points. So I think he should be able to keep seeing more carries. Now, do I believe week 3 he's all that great of a start? No, because I want to see this production over time, but I do think right now is your best time to get him. Or actually last week was your best time to get him. But right now is probably the second best time because he's just going to continue to get better in my opinion. And I think that David Montgomery is one of those backs that you're going to having regretted not have traded for earlier in the season, and you're going to have to pay quite the price in a couple of weeks to acquire David Montgomery, who in my opinion towards the end of the year or just in maybe in just a couple of weeks could be a top 15 every single week back. The next guy to talk about is Mark Andrews. It says wide receiver, but he's obviously a tight end of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, week 1, 8 for 8, 108 yards and a touchdown, 24.8 PPR points. Week 2, 8 of 9 for 112 yards and a touchdown, 25.2 PPR points. Now, what you're saying to me is, Nick, what do you mean? Why should I trade for this guy? He is clearly doing good already. His price is going to be too high. No, his price isn't that high because what people they don't really look at the numbers. They might say, "Oh, look, Mark Andrews has 50 total fantasy points, but he's just a tight end on Baltimore. Like he can't sustain that all season. I want to get Kittle or Kittle, Ertz, Kelsey. They think that those guys are just so much better. It's a name thing in fantasy football. A lot of people associate guys with names. Mark Andrews, not a big name. So I think you can go out there and acquire him. I don't think that a lot of people are super high on him. They think that maybe he's going to fall off. In my opinion, he is not going to fall off. He's going to continue the success that he's had since week 1 and continue it all season. So I think that a lot of people are going to be able to get him in a trade, and you're not even going to have to pay the price that Mark Andrews is worth. Mark Andrews is worth a guy that is a great wide receiver, probably a wide receiver too. You can get him for something that's way cheaper than that, and you will feel great about it. Now, obviously, like I said, Mark Andrews is a tight end, not a wide receiver. I'm sorry about that mess up in the graphic. Now, the next guy is Robert Woods, wide receiver of the LA Rams. You guys know this guy. He was one of those guys that I was targeting very heavily in around the 4th round of the draft in the draft season. If you've been watching for a while, I know a lot of you guys are new. I've gotten 1,000 subscribers in the last month, so most of you weren't there for that. But Robert Woods is a guy that I believe could be a top 15 wide receiver all year for me. So week 1, 8 receptions on 13 targets for 70 yards. Pretty solid game. Week 1, didn't score, still solid. Week 2, only 2 receptions on 2 targets for 33 yards. So some people are going to overreact. People overreact for everything. Christian McCaffrey goes from 43 points to 5. There's a fucking ruckus in the street. People are pissed off, burning his jersey. Obviously that doesn't actually happen, but fantasy owners overreact. They always overreact. They see what happened last week and they get pissed off. Terrible week 2 is going to make people pissed off. Terrible week 1 is going to make people pissed off. So you need to keep that in mind. People may think that Robert Woods is now trash for some reason, so you may be able to easily acquire him if if the owner of Robert Woods in your league is pissed off at him. The final guy we're going to be talking about here is wide receiver Mike Evans, wide receiver of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I know week 2 he was also in the trade video because I thought that he was going to bounce back and have an amazing week 2. Now, he didn't necessarily do that. Week 1, 2 receptions on 5 targets for 28 total yards, 4.8 PPR points in that game. Now, week 2, 4 receptions on 8 targets for 61 yards, only 10.1 PPR points. I know. You drafted him in the first or second round, or the second round most likely, and you're pissed off. You're like, why is Mike Evans playing so bad? Now, let me tell you, week 1 he was dealing with an injury, and he was also sick. Keep that in mind. And then week 2, on a short week on a Thursday night against the Panthers, he may still have been dealing with this sickness or this injury. Gets 4 receptions for 61 yards, 10 points. Now, he is an elite receiver when he's healthy. Last year, elite. The year before, elite. The year before that, elite. He is an elite talent in the NFL. You need to keep in mind that he is this elite guy. People are pissed off. They're selling Mike Evans for nothing. They're selling him for like a used tissue or something. You can easily trade someone who's terrible for Mike Evans, and people will take it. In my league of record, someone tried to trade Frank Gore for Mike Evans. In my opinion, I don't know who is dumb enough to do that. For one, that is crazy to me. I don't think getting Frank Gore for Mike Evans is anywhere near worth it. But that trade obviously didn't happen, but that was something that was talked about that people wanted to do. So guys, keep in mind that anything can happen in your league. Some people, they have Mike Evans, they may think, oh, I need to keep Mike Evans. Some, just like with all these guys in these videos, it all depends on who you're trading with and all of that and how trade friendly your league is. So thank you guys all for watching. If you found any of this information to be amazing, to be the greatest of information, click that subscribe button, because not only is it going to help me, like I said, it's also going to help you. Click on one of the videos that's on your screen. I love each and every one of you motherfuckers. I will see you guys all later with more videos. Now, it's not going to come out typically. There's a video at 12:15. I don't think that's going to happen because I got a class at 11, but I'll be back around like 2, and there'll be some videos tomorrow. And there's also be a live stream, or today, as you're watching this, there's going to be a live stream. Check that shit out. Live stream before the games, probably at like 6 o'clock. Goodbye.